You think they make donut print shirts like this?
I was just having a conversation with my wife this week about that.
Did Stacey think that they do?
She said she wasn't sure, but she was down to look for it.
Yes. We love Stacey.
Yes. Yeah. I'm also a big fan of her.
Also love Stacey?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's probably good. This is not the platform to announce otherwise, but...
Did you already ask them what the donut for this episode is?
Did they come up with a donut? Did you tell them they needed to?
Again, with the prep work.
I think it would be something coconut flavored. I'm all for alliteration. The coconut crypto donut.
Coconut?
Isn't that a donut flavor?
You like put coconut on top of a donut.
Vastly unpopular donut flavor.
I would agree. Crypto's not for everyone, though.
There's like a snowball donut. They're pink, but it's dyed coconut.
What I'm hearing is there's a lot of uncertainty or confusion around this coconut donut. So maybe, just maybe, this is a perfect donut for this episode.
Steve, guess what?
What?
I brought donuts to the wedding I was in this weekend for us to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one apple fritter and it was for me. And they right now have apple caramel donuts that aren't apple fritters. They're donuts. So I just...
This makes complete sense because you brought donuts and everybody was like, hopefully there's no apple fritters because that's a terrible donut. And you brought good donuts for the rest of the wedding party. That was a kind gesture from you.
Got one apple fritter because it's the best and was like, these people can have those donuts.
All right. So we have some guests on today. Let's kick it over to them for a little introduction of who they are and why they're here today.
My name is Kaylee, and I'm here with Sophie, and we are representing a group of team members at Royal Credit Union who are crypto curious. So we have an internal committee, and we get together and we come up with ideas about how we can educate team members on cryptocurrency, and then also what some possible service offerings could be for members in the future.
And I'm Sophie. I'm on our payment solutions team. So yeah, involved in the team of looking at crypto and seeing what we want to do with it in the future.
Tell me a little bit about this committee. How did it come about? How long has it been going?
So we started it about a year ago. We really wanted to have an understanding of where Royal wanted to go with crypto in 2022. So again, it's our IT payment solutions and someone from our marketing department, keeping in the loop people from compliance to really just keep researching and seeing what news coming with crypto. It's in the news every day, and see where Royal wants to go with it.
Let's talk about the basics. Let's get right into it. Sophie, tell me a little bit. What is cryptocurrency?
So it's relatively new, even though it was created in 2008. Bitcoin was the first crypto. Some key terms, it's a digital asset that's used as a medium of exchange to store value. It's also referred to as coins or tokens. It's decentralized, meaning there's no central authority. But a little later, we can talk about some digital bank currency that the governments are looking at. Some well-known examples include Bitcoin and Ether, but there's dozens of other ones. If you go online, you'll see hundreds upon hundreds of them. It's enabled by a form of technology called blockchain. That's really what makes cryptocurrency work. It's a digital ledger that stores records and ownerships of transactions for cryptocurrency.
I don't know. I feel kind of lost about this episode. I own some cryptocurrency because I thought I should. I don't know. I have $40 worth and it's never doing very well. But so the blockchain thing, doesn't that make it really safe? Like that's what kind of like the hype is, like it's safe. And
we can talk about blockchain a little bit. That's really the underlying technology, what makes crypto exchange possible. So blockchain is that distributed encrypted ledger that's hosted on many computers, and it tracks the transactions between users. So when a transaction occurs, it's not just stored on one ledger, but all of them at the same time. And that provides that greater transparency and also some instant traceability that you talked about a little bit before. Each transactional record is actually called a block, and that block contains information about the transaction. It's the timestamp, the amount, etc., but it also contains information about the block that came before it. And so that's how you have that actual chain of transactions, those different blocks forming that blockchain, and that's what makes it sort of like an audit trail so that you can see, again, it's that distributed public ledger.
I don't know. Crypto, it sounds like this magic thing that doesn't really make sense to me, but that made a lot of sense. So now explain crypto in those easy words. Like what am I doing with it? Physical stuff in my hands? Is it
Yeah, so there's a couple different types, fungible and non-fungible. Fungible are going to be divisible, so Bitcoin is fungible. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. You can divide them up. That's why, when you said you have $40 in it, you obviously don't have 1 Bitcoin. You have, a fraction of one. So stable coins are also fungible. Those are a little less volatile than regular crypto because they're backed by something such as gold or silver. And then there's also those central bank digital currencies that I mentioned earlier. Governments are starting to look into those to actually be backed by things like the US dollar or the euro. So those would be, even less volatile because they're backed by a fiat currency. There's also non-fungible tokens, NFTs. These are big in the news right now. Big use cases like digital art. So you're really buying a digital form of something, but the big thing is it can't be duplicated. So it's really you have this one thing and it's not like a song that you can go copy and send an email and copy the song to somebody else. So those are really the big types of crypto.
So is it
like, what's the point of it?
Yeah. I'm like, is it like an investment, a currency, a decoration to hang on my computer background? Like what?
Cryptocurrency is a couple of different things. I think it's really gained popularity as an investment vehicle, albeit a very volatile one. And so just a word of caution that I think some of the consumers who do use it as an investment vehicle, they have a higher risk threshold than others. It's not as stable as stocks or bonds. But we are also seeing that some merchants are allowing you to use crypto to make purchases. So Overstock.com allows that. Home Depot has it. So a little bit of both.
Hey, when it comes to coconut donuts, do you think all the flakes come from one specific coconut, or is it a mixture of a bunch of coconuts that make up that coconut donut?
I want to know what kind of coconut donut though. Like, is it a ring donut with frosting and dipped in coconut, or is it like a snowball that's dyed and it's pink, but it's
I don't think
rolled?
a snowball is officially a donut.
What else would it be? A muffin?
It's one of those
a pastry.
Yeah, it's one of those things in the aisle with the Twinkies and the ho-hos and the.
Yeah, aren't they donuts? Like a ho-ho is a cupcake.
You consider a Twinkie a donut?
Well, it's probably more of like a roll cake.
There we go.
We talked a little bit about crypto at a high level, but what do you do with it?
Why should I care about it?
How do I buy it?
Let's do one question at a time, people.
No, this is fun.
We were just throwing out options.
All right. Cooper, you go.
Why? What is wrong with him today? I like when he's like this, but it is just sometimes
He
a
doesn't
little
get around people a lot anymore.
Work from home. Come on.
It's Monday, too.
It's a long weekend.
You're telling me. I want to know why crypto, it's in the news, it's in the hype, it's on TikTok, all over, all that kind of stuff. But why do I care about it? Like I said, I own some of it and I don't really do anything with it. Like why should I care about it? Is it something like future wise we should think about or just be aware of? Is it good knowledge? I don't know. That was 18 questions. You pick what you want to. You take that where you want to go.
Does it feel like the internet? Like there's this fear of missing out. Like, oh, it's the next big thing. The media hype. Like the media is really covering it in depth and stuff without really talking about the why behind it. I think Cooper's question is perfectly valid. Like there's a lot of speculation, a lot of volatility, a lot of questions about it, and a lot of people don't comprehend the full story, right?
I love when you're on my side.
I think that comes back to crypto primarily right now is used as an investment asset, albeit for people who have a very high risk threshold because it is more volatile. It's not as stable as stocks or bonds. And so I think that's the most popular use case right now. When people go out and they purchase crypto, they are hanging on to that as an investment asset. We do know that you can also use it to make some purchases with merchants online, such as Overstock, Home Depot. But again, because the actual value of cryptocurrency, depending on the coin, is changing so much every day, a lot of people are using it more as an investment.
Like when you're using crypto, it's like you're paying to a store that like also has crypto, like kind of like a dollar. Like you're paying your dollar to the store that accepts dollars. Like they're not like crypto's not a virtual dollar. It's its own realm, right?
People that are accepting it, they are making a transition of when you're purchasing it, they're converting it to a fiat currency, the US dollar, for the actual purchase. So they are making that transaction. But it's just another, like when you're using your PayPal, you have funds in there. Sometimes going to the PayPal account there. Sometimes it's just being deposited into an account that company owns.
So where can you get it, or where do you buy different types of crypto?
So there are various crypto exchanges that are online that you can go to. A few of them, most of them, many of them, all of them have their own mobile app as well that you can download, and you can purchase, buy, sell, hold your crypto on that platform. We're also seeing, interestingly, that there are some crypto ATMs that are popping up across the United States.
Oh.
So that is also an option.
Is crypto something, do I have to purchase it on my own if I want to invest in it? Or is it something I can talk to a trusted investment advisor about?
We would always recommend reaching out to your trusted financial advisor before you purchase crypto, and they may have the resources to talk to you about digital wallets and how to buy, sell, hold. They may direct you to do some of that research on your own. And so we can talk a little bit about what a digital wallet is. That is essentially where you store the cryptocurrency that you've purchased, and the transactions then are again recorded on that blockchain, that public digital ledger. Digital wallets can be accessed via your computer or your mobile device, and users are identified by a public key or like a username, and that's known to everyone. And that's used to transfer the cryptocurrency between users. There's also a private key that provides access to the funds, and that should be kept confidential. That's your password to your digital wallet. So digital wallets are typically found via those crypto exchanges.
Isn't there a lot of stories about people losing that personal key and losing a ton of, like, not being able to access millions of dollars of Bitcoin?
One of my favorite stories, it was a man in Britain who had it on a USB, and like 10 years ago it was thrown away, and he has spent the last 10 years digging through his local dump to try and get access to this USB that would now be worth millions of dollars.
It's bad luck.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what I would do. I'd be so sad. I would just hope I never found out.
Throwing that lottery ticket away.
I don't buy lottery tickets, but that's part of the reason why.
The other thing with digital wallets, there have been instances where people have reported not having access to their digital wallet because they don't know what their private key is. It's also important, though, that when you transfer your crypto and you're using someone else's public key to do that you verify who that person is. You know for certain where the funds are going, because crypto doesn't have those protections. Once those trades have been made, it's not likely that you'll get that money returned unless you truly know who that other person was. Credit cards and debit cards have those legal protections to help you get your money back for fraudulent transactions, but cryptocurrencies typically don't have that.
And that comes back to the decentralized, like there's no really regulatory agency that oversees all of them. Like,
right. It's not regulated at all, sure, by the U.S. government. There's been a lot of congressional hearings. That's what we're seeing on the news lately, talking about crypto and that central bank digital currency. But they have yet to adopt any framework for any cryptocurrency regulation.
Is this something Royal would ever offer? Are we going to have the Royal coin you can buy and use in our amazing communities? I don't know.
So we're researching products and services that's in our members' best interest. Always, we do have, some options for digital currency rewards or options to buy, sell, trade. We are still researching those. And as news time evolves, we are considering all those options, but we don't have any definite plans as of right now.
Our goal right now for the immediate future is to make sure that members have a solid understanding of what cryptocurrency is. There are some online resources that are available to them for that. One is crypto.com/university, and it has different short level courses that you can focus based on the topic or based on the level if you're a beginner, intermediate. And it's a good resource to just first familiarize yourself with the topic. And then if it feels like something you might be interested in, reach out to that trusted financial advisor. And then from there, determine what makes sense for you, again, given your risk appetite.
That's cool. I didn't even know about that, but now I'm like, oh, I want to go and I want to look at that.
Take some courses.
Yeah. Well, it's something, as that evolves, like it's something we get asked about a lot now in financial education presentations and things like that. So, I think this will be a good episode to refer them to, but having a base knowledge of like, I can tell you this, this, and this, and go talk to someone else for everything else. I know I have seen it amongst like my friends and their social media profiles, but crypto, there's a lot of fraud that kind of, is tied to it, just like with anything. Do you have any good tips on, avoiding that or, not getting yourself into a situation since it's not regulated? There's not a lot of protection, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. We want members to be very cautious of any cryptocurrency scams that could be going on. And so I think if they're approached with an opportunity that promises really high guarantees or profits, to be skeptical of that with crypto. Also guard your heart and your wallet against any online scams. If you're on an online dating site and someone asks you to transfer crypto to them or wire money, anything else, be skeptical of that as well. That could be a scam. While some merchants, like we mentioned, will accept cryptocurrency, be cautious of someone who is requiring cryptocurrency for that transaction, especially if it's for non-tangible items like a business or a house. Fraudsters are always going to look for ways to gain access to your money. And so for our Royal members, we would want them to reach out to our member service department immediately if they suspected any fraud on their accounts. Fraud specifically involving cryptocurrency, you can report that at reportfraud.ftc.gov.
And that's a really good resource too. The Federal Trade Commission, they're kind of the people that take care of all that stuff, all the fraud, all the scams, and are a resource. They compiled those reports, but they're a really good knowledge base for frauds and scams out there too. Just to plug that because.
Well, I know you guys talked about fraud before, but a lot of it's account takeover fraud. It's people giving out information and then being able to get into your online banking. And guess what? If you have a digital wallet in there or in your phone, they can send that money out just as quick as you brought it in. So then you have no way of getting it back.
So from like a risk perspective, is that one of the reasons that Royal's taking a wait and see approach kind of, or is proceeding so cautiously? Like, that money could leave your account in seconds and it's completely decentralized, untraceable. That feels like something that is maybe not in our members' best interest, right?
Right. That's part of doing what's right for our members of if you get into an account takeover fraud, how easy it would be for them to gain access, or can we stop it? Do we have the right fraud preventions in place to stop it before it happens, instead of you calling and saying, hey, my digital wallet's cleared out, can you help me? And we can't really help them because they're not protected at all as a consumer with crypto.
Do you think that this conversation is going to be kind of like what is the internet conversation that happened 30 years ago?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know. Have you heard that conversation?
People will look back and be like, how did you guys not know what cryptocurrency was? Now it's part of everyday life.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm still hoping for cars that fly, so.
They have them. They're called planes.
You listed a couple different cryptocurrency. Is there like a finite number, or how many different types of cryptocurrency are there right now?
There's not. I couldn't even begin to list them all. But usually with the cryptocurrency, there's a finite number of Bitcoins. So if you buy Bitcoin, there's only a certain number of them. And that's really what makes it volatile with the supply and demand of how much each Bitcoin is worth.
So who's making these cryptocurrencies?
Like, can anyone make one? We could have Steve Coin, and that would be like Steve's personal crypto.
Yeah, that's a great question. We haven't done much research on the actual process of creating the cryptocurrencies and minting them, etc. So we'd have to look into that a little bit more.
As you guys were researching, was there any other things that like jumped out at you as like, this is wild and crazy, or like that their minds would be blown if they knew about this?
I think we looked at a lot of our data, and we know our members are using and utilizing crypto, whether it's for investments or purchases. We can kind of data mine our own data and look at, merchant names that we know handle crypto. I think on average in the past 90 days, we're seeing about 1,300 accounts that are utilizing crypto. So we know our members are using it, and that's really why we wanted to get in and research and understand what, why, how, so then we can be ready to support them if we do want to move into any crypto products.
I think when we were doing research, one thing that stood up to me was just the process of mining crypto. I think there's been some talk about the different environmental impacts and whatnot to crypto mining, and there's some really interesting new trends that are coming out with proof of stake and proof of work mining that I would encourage our members, if they're interested in that, to go out and do some more research and learn more about it.
Can you generally give an idea of like what mining is? Like, it's not a physical thing, obviously, like digging in a cave. But what does mining mean when talking about this? Like, why?
I mean, it doesn't apply to all cryptos though, so it can
never
get
mind
really
then.
confusing.
Mining is a two-part process, and the first part of that is actually verifying the transactions that occurred on the blockchain are valid. So that's that whole audit trail and going through and making sure that the right information is included. The second part of mining is actually creating the new coins and minting them.
But so I think the controversy over the mining is it's a lot of computers doing a lot of transactions and algorithmic work, and it's a lot of energy. And that's some of the controversy of it, of it's taking a lot of energy and producing emissions to have computers do this mining of digital currency.
Are we missing anything if we just ignore crypto completely? Like, as a member, am I fine and dandy to just keep driving along in my lane and not caring what's happening in the world of cryptocurrency?
I think that's certainly a stance that some consumers have, and that could apply to a lot of different products. We can't see into the future to know for sure
Come on, Kaylee.
what the impact of crypto will be. It is really fascinating to dig into it and do some of the research and then decide on your own as a consumer, is it right for you and how do you want to use it as an investment vehicle, or what can you do with it?
And I think members make those decisions all the time. Do you purchase things with your debit card or your credit card? Do you use bill pay? Do you go to Excel's website and make your payment there? So a lot of it is, you can get to the same endpoint, but use a different vehicle, if you will, depending on, if you like getting points with your credit card or you want the risk of investing in cryptocurrency. It's really just what's best for the member.
If you are a member and you are intrigued by crypto, you're seeing it in the news, and it's something that's sparking your interest, we would really recommend going out and going to that crypto.com/university, learning more about what it is and all the different facets of it. Make that answer for yourself, that move for yourself of if it's something you want to be involved with or not.
Is that the best place to get crypto information? Is there any other website that members can for sure trust?
We found that one to be the most informative. There are a lot of different academic resources out there that are now available, different universities offering courses on it. Some of them have published their work online.
But don't take the advice that you read on Facebook or Reddit, or just found it randomly on Coinbase from the comment section. Like, maybe that's not the best place to look for stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Probably not.
Make sure it's reputable.
I mean, this is just a weird situation, right? We're here to provide education for our members, but at the same time, for this crypto topic, we're telling members, you have to do the legwork yourself. Get in, boots on the ground, get in there and figure it out on your own. Like, we don't have all the answers. So that's an interesting position for a financial institution to be in, to say, actually, it's two sides to this coin. We need some help from our members on this, to go out and do some research, do your homework before you jump into this.
Two sides to this coin was my favorite part of that whole statement.
Two-way street was the analogy I was searching for, but I wanted to go back to the flying cars, but couldn't make it work.
Technically, if cars fly, it won't just be a two-way street. It could be a multiple avenue street.
I like that.
I don't know.
Roundabout.
Kind of like crypto. A lot of avenues to it, a lot of uses and definition, and
They're like roundabouts. Nobody knows how to use them, but they just go through them all the time.
yeah, I hate that they, some used to be flat enough you could just like drive across them, and now they put like bushes in the middle to avoid that.
Please tell me you weren't just driving straight through roundabouts in the past.
That's why you had to get a new car, right?
That's why she wants the flying ones, so she doesn't have to deal with roundabouts.
I would like a car that drives for me. That's my dream.
thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you guys' insight and your education that you're providing our members and non-members and Cooper.
My brain is just like spinning.
Hey, Cooper. If people like Money Donuts, what should they do?
Ooh, they should listen and subscribe to us on their favorite podcast platform and watch our YouTube channel and look for potentially Money Donuts' own YouTube channel, Steve.
Yes, confirmed.
Amazing.
With special behind-the-scenes features like
the lesson that I got in wearing my name tag the correct way, not upside down.
Maybe you get to see a time lapse of me setting up for a podcast.
That's what the people want to see.
And watch the sunset and then come back up.
We just lost subscribers when I mentioned that, didn't we? Darn it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just dropped.
Good stuff.
Thanks.